Birmingham City Councilor from District 9, Latonya Tate. Tell me a joke.
Why didn't Pharaoh let the Hebrews go?
Why didn't Pharaoh let the Hebrews go?
Why didn't he?
Why?
Because he was in denial. Bye.
You came with one. You came with one. We are at the, I guess we're at the starting point. Even though so much has happened and so much has been said, we are at the starting point. What starting point do you ask? The starting point of the Birmingham municipal elections. And you are running for re-election.
That is correct.
You have been here and talked about what you wanted to do. I'm gonna remind you, I'm gonna remind people that I was very skeptical of the methods and the approaches that you talked about. But now that we're at the beginning of this campaign season, it's time to talk about that stuff again.
Well, I'm going to elaborate on, take you back to when I first came to see you.
Yeah.
We talked about, it was during that time when it was a mass shooting in the city.
That's right.
17 people had gotten killed, including a young lady and her child, and a young man, and then 14 people had gotten shot in District 9. It was an event center that we had called back into public safety that had been operating illegally. And so one of the things that I set out to do was to make sure that place never opened up again. And so we were successful in getting a judge's order to put chains on the doors and close it down. And, and making sure that whoever owned that building, that it wasn't ever used for that kind of use anymore. If you want to put it in, the urban community, it needs to be something that's an economic driver.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of my whole goals was, prior to being elected on the city council, my colleagues had been working on some violence reduction initiatives, and they trusted me to lead that charge. And so I was grateful to get accepted into the University of Chicago Crime Lab Community Violence Leadership Academy. I was in the second cohort. I was one of 31. And so with the leadership of Dr. Chico Tillman, his staff, Marcus McAllister, who's the Dean of Students, Norman Kerr, who with Trajectory Change and Solutions, who had been doing work around violence for over 30 years, just brainstorming with them and learning the footprint of how do we reduce violence. We got an idea but how do we really, take the framework and make it work for Birmingham?
That's right.
And so we were able to, bring those initiatives back, pick up where Councilor Smitherman had been talking to Cure Violence prior to me getting there. They had already been working on the violence, hospital link violence initiative program that they have over at UAB. And then it was in that discovery that I said, okay, we got, OAA, is in the hospital with UAB, but we're not capturing, the individuals that are not fatally wounded.
Mm-hmm.
And so that led to, coming back, sitting down, brainstorming with Uche Bean and I and Clint, Council Woods, and Councilor Smitherman sent one of her representatives, had taken a trip to Newark, New Jersey. When I started doing research, looking at Baltimore, looking at Newark, just looking at different places, Oakland, people that had reduced violence in their cities, in real good numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So we went out to Newark and we spent 3 days out there and got on the ground, with Deputy Mayor now, Keisha Urey and that team, not the Magic City, but the Brick City Peace Collective, and just able to see how they were moving to work through the ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I do know, those that are closest to the problems are your solution solvers. So people that are system impacted, justice impacted, people have been in gangs, people that know, what's going on in these communities. So was able to see their work in real time.
Mm-hmm.
And so was able to come back and talk about what does a one hood look like, in Birmingham, one hood, Alabama. What does it look like to expand the footprint and get violent interrupters in the emergency room, and not only in the emergency room, but on the streets, of Birmingham. So, just want to thank my colleagues and thank Mayor Whiffen for trusting the process and investing in that. And to date, Birmingham is sitting at 58% in violence reduction from those strategies that were launched into Birmingham, credible messengers training that had taken place. So about 38 people had trained for that. And just really want to lift up the Offender Alumni Association, those people that are really, really doing the work, the people that stay on call 24/7. Phones don't ever stop ringing. So I really want to pay homage, to the people that are putting their lives,
Hold on. Before we get any further, let's dig deep in each one of those, because we got time. The Offender Alumni Association, talk about them at depth for me.
Well, the Offender Alumni Association, are a very, very beautiful group of people. Deborah Daniels, who's formerly incarcerated, Dina Dickerson, who's formerly incarcerated, Tim Lanier, who's formerly incarcerated, Danny Dandridge, who's formerly incarcerated, Cherie Kennan, a mother who leads the victim side of this, people that have lost kids to gun violence. What about us moms? You got Lucretia Day, over there. You got Tony Barnett, who's formerly incarcerated, Lisa Gus, who's formerly incarcerated. So there you see that pool of people that are system impacted and closest to the solution.
Mm-hmm.
And so the work that they have done, even having to leave Birmingham and expand their footprint into Atlanta, where they're making great impact over there with Mayor Dickinson.
Mm-hmm.
Andre Dickinson.
Right.
Andre. Y'all know what I'm saying. So, they've been able to make a great footprint over there. And so, in coming back here, making that same impact, has just been outstanding.
It really has.
It has been very outstanding.
It really has. Mm-hmm. Now, what other organizations did
so
you mention?
Have
especially locally, right here?
You have One Hood.
One Hood, right.
One Hood is when I stepped into Newark, got off the plane, went to a One Hood meeting with probably over 60 to 70 people that were system impacted, had been in gangs, females, that had street credibility, males that had street credibility, and was just blown away on what I was witnessing in real time. How the community was embracing, all of these people, how they were able to just go into certain parts of the community where a lot of, where you used to couldn't go, but how the brothers and sisters had come together just to squash, all of that, working with people like Khalil Tut, Eight the Great, all of those people, New Direction, working with all of those and just seeing the things that they were moving in real time in community.
Mm-hmm.
You got to invest in people, because there was no way that we could continue to police our way out of this. You got to make investment into those that are closest to the problem are your solution solvers. So we have made a great impact. One Hood is led by Jacoby Williams, and you just have an array of brothers, that are a part of that, that's leading this work.
Now, let's take, these organizations, for example. You've brought us up to speed of how you got involved with them. We've talked a little bit about this violence reduction, and we have real numbers to support that now. What do we look for next? What is the next step? What as we continue to drive these numbers down, is it just building more people, working in the system, or is time needed? What's going on? What do we look forward to?
The next step, doing this is to continue to invest in people, continue to get people in the community engaged. We have the Rise Up program out at Miles College. You have Flipping the Game. You have the community practitioner. I had an opportunity to go out to Miles, to see the work that Dr. Davis, New Direction, what they're doing out there. I walked, had the opportunity to see the Rise Up program that morning, saw the young people. It's over 50 young people in that program where they are teaching these young people, you know, to boss up, young violent interrupters, people that are influencers in their own way, and taking that influence and turning it into a positive, you know, influence.
Yeah.
Also, I got a chance to witness young people's business plan, like what they want to do. I saw one of the young brothers there want to create a, you know, a t-shirt line. A young lady want to do a jewelry line. I mean, it just blew me away. I mean, literally blew me away. Then I got a chance to go back that evening to see the community practitioner, where you have just people out of these communities wanting change in their communities and going out telling other people about, you know, the community practitioner program. It was about 30 or 40 people sitting in there. Those people would be certified community practitioners, you know, in the community. Got a chance to see how you broke down the different components of things you want to see in community, how you move and mobilize, you know, a community, what you really want to see your community be like.
Outstanding. Now, all right, I feel good. We've talked, you know, a little bit about that. Please move forward with, you know, your next plans or thoughts as it relates, and we're going to stay on the subject of crime reduction.
Well, you know, and the next plans and my next thoughts is to continue to invest in people and continue to expand the footprint, you know, of the community street outreach workers, the violent interrupters. You know, a lot of them have violent interrupters. When you start doing this work, they place them in zones. They place them in areas where we call them hot spots, where you have a lot of, you know, maybe a lot of gun violence, and seeing it reduce. So they're, you know, the training that the violent interrupters, you know, are getting is far by the best by Norman Kerr with changing solutions, trajectory changing solutions, where he has been able to help reduce violence in, you know, another area. They hadn't had a shooting in Chattanooga in 365 days in a year. And so we're expecting to get that same result here in Birmingham and expand that footprint, you know, throughout these 99 neighborhoods. And so asking brothers and sisters who are influencers, people that are credible in these communities, you know, keep working the apparatus to get more people involved, you know, in this collective movement, which means you need a partnership with the county, you need a partnership with the state, you need a partner, public and philanthropy dollars to move this work. So really looking to champion, you know, that next level so we can expand this footprint even more, you know, into the 99 neighborhoods.
We just got the mayor's budget passed, and a lot of money was dedicated to not only the police force, but equipment. Cameras was something that you hit the ground running with. Can you address this from a budget standpoint? Like, we've put the money here, we've put the money there, all right?
Well, you know, again, grateful for the mayor to give each council $3 million. One of the things that I took charge is, as a part of my public safety footprints for my ARPA dollars, was to invest in cameras. We invested about $95,000 in cameras, and we have cameras all throughout District 9. One of the other things that I do plan on doing is continue that footprint, you know, investing more into cameras. I know my colleagues, they've talked about cameras, and I really believe that we got an opportunity to keep expanding that footprint, you know, with the cameras. That helps with illegal dumping. If people paid attention to the first, you know, video, we were able to catch some people dumping. So we've seen a decrease, you know, throughout District 9 with dumping. But are we perfect? Have we solved, you know, everything? Absolutely not. But the goal is to keep working towards that and to continue to expand that budget to continue to take charge in these neighborhoods. The mayor has allocated, you know, quite a bit of money for neighborhood revitalization. We want to keep working with him, you know, to bring, you know, real robust revitalization to these neighborhoods.
Well, you brought him up. I ain't studying him. No, I'm just joking. You brought up the mayor and neighborhood revitalization, so let's move to that, right? Everybody fussing about grass and pavement. Grass and paving the streets. I know what I know Well, I'll just say it. You guys have put the money there. It's going to take time to roll it out. Am I right?
That's
I've
correct.
been educated on that well. I think I've been educated on it well with that is paving. Then as far as the grass is concerned, you know, the rain and all of that kind of stuff. But one of the things that I think you guys have not addressed is when the clock starts with the grass, right? And the fact that you guys don't manicure and keep up yards. It's a matter of once it gets out of control, you whack it down, and then you're lucky if somebody comes out twice in a year.
That's correct.
So, talk about the money, the process.
Well, again, the council on last Tuesday, passed a state of emergency, to give the mayor the okay to go out and get more contractors. Because again, as you stated, all of this rain in the process is a legal process, particularly if it's a private lot. You just cannot enter somebody's property without taking legal steps to do so. Grateful again for those who are, want to step up, want to be, to help eradicate, this issue. I have seen as I ride through the city, particularly in District 9, and I ride. I've seen in, other districts where you're seeing the grass, being cut. You're seeing it's being cleared up and cleaned up. And I can see it with my own eyes.
Yeah.
Like every day when you're riding, you're seeing more and more. And then you're seeing people that own these properties. A lot of people are stepping up and taking care of their own properties.
They are stepping up.
So I'm grateful to see, that I just was on my way here, saw somebody cutting, a lot, like literally up the street from my house. And had a chance to talk to the person and, I own this, I plan to keep it up. So that's what we want. We want people to, to take care of, what's theirs. Because what happens is when you start allocating and taking money, to take care of something that don't belong to the city, that money can be used to continue the footprint, for things that people want to see in these neighborhoods.
That's right. One last thing about him, especially as it relates to elections. There are a lot of challengers coming on board who are obviously not fans of you or the mayor. Do you plan to continue to work with him? Do you plan to take the route that some of these other people are talking about, giving him hell every Tuesday? What is your relationship with the mayor?
Well, I have gotten to know Mayor Woodfin over the last 4 years, and I consider him, a brother, a great friend, somebody that you can go talk to, somebody that I could have a conversation with. I'm not saying, do we all agree? But I have my own style. And my style is not to get out, because I have a 79-year-old mom at home who raised me very well. And one of the things that she talked to me about, you don't use people, you use tools. And so I dare, to get, out and just do things how some other people choose to do. I just don't choose to move in that way. I have no plans to, to get on board with what other people are doing. My relationships is built off of what I build my relationships on. I judge people on how I get to know people, not what other people are saying.
Yeah.
And so I just feel that's a level of maturity. When you take on, somebody else's actions, it's just like somebody saying, I don't like Alva. Okay.
Right.
I'm not gonna not like Alva because you don't like him. I gotta get to know Alva for myself to form my own opinion. I work very well with my colleagues, and I'm gonna continue to work very well with those that that I serve with on the days every Tuesday.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. A lot is being said out there this campaign season. And I want to give you an opportunity to address anything that you might want to address. Let's just go off the cuff a little bit.
Well, it's like this. When you're anointed and appointed by God, you don't worry about noisemakers. I am not going to fall into a trap because other people can want to make noise. I don't have to clap back at you because according to Romans 8:31, that's going to clap at you. I don't have to come after you or do anything to even get on the level or the playing field that you're on. I'm reminded what God said in his word. He'll prepare a table before you in the presence of your enemies. And so when you keep your level head, I think when people understand that you don't have to clap back or snap at people, God gonna do just what he said he gonna do. You just look to the hills when we come at your help, because all the help come from God. And whatever God ordained, he's certainly gonna maintain it.
Amen to that.
Amen.
I wasn't able to get you here before, but I do want to give you the opportunity to recap the wonderful weekend you had with the Man Up organization. Oh, please tell us about One Hood.
Father's Day brunch.
The Father's Day brunch. And you guys were giving out so much stuff last weekend and all that. Give us a little recap.
And that's Black Men United.
Black Men United. Yes. That was the word, the name I
want to give it up for my national partners, Black Men United. Vice President Terry Young is 2 of 31. And we met in the Community Violence Leadership Academy.
Okay.
And all 31 of us have become great brothers and sisters. And Vice President Terry Young is a brother who spent an enormous amount of time in prison. Got out, lived in Chicago, and one of the things that he vowed to do was to build an ecosystem to take care and give back to communities. Unapologetic Black man. And I've been able to have, this is my 3rd giveaway with them. And whenever I, get on the phone with him and say, hey, come help me serve the community, they have no hesitation. All this is volunteer work. They bring.
Let's talk about, like, you guys gave away a lot of stuff, and I want you to list it. I mean, there were socks, there were coolers, it was so much going on, and they deserve for you to give them this shout out of all the stuff they bring. We had
bomber socks for kids. We had mosquito lamps. It was air mattresses there. It was reflector shirts for those who work in construction. We had dress shirts, towels, dental things, dental hygiene. We had a lot of big items. We had swimming pools. I was able to bless the community with a swimming pool. Take this back in the community and put the kids in it. We had slides. I was able to send stuff to different communities where people to put, like one person like, hey, I'm like, I'm gonna give it to you. You got it. You can take it, because some kids don't get these opportunities. And so when we was able, it was just so much of dash cams. It was a lot of stuff there.
Yeah.
I mean, just a lot. Now, the first giveaway I had, oh my God, it was Lysol, cooking utensils, oh my God, toys galore that I was able to have. I got some stuff left that I'm going to actually take over to an event that I'm partnering with Councilor Smitherman, OAA Commissioner Tyson. Heal the Block is an initiative that I bought back from Newark.
Okay.
And so we doing that August
Tell us
2nd.
About that.
We doing Heal the Block August the 2nd over on Tuscaloosa Avenue to be blocked off. It is going to be over 50 some partners out there, resources, bring all of this stuff to the community. Where people can't make it to the city, you'll be able to talk to people, from different organizations about different things. So some of the stuff that we had left
So
over,
some, like when y'all do the things at the Boutwell or something, you basically gonna take it to the
take it
hood.
to the community.
All right. Okay.
Then we got some items left from the giveaway. We taking them over, blessing the people. Food will be, on deck. It's just a lot going on. And the Heal the Blocks is just not just, it was an initiative that I brought back, from New Jersey and telling my colleagues lunch this. Because the goal is to build an ecosystem to bring the resources to those who cannot come and get the resources.
Right.
Bring the resources to them. And so I'm looking forward, to Heal the Block. I'm looking forward for Birmingham violence reduction rate to continue to drop, and continue to enjoy. People can continue to enjoy these communities and come on board and get on board and continue to work together as a collective. And I really believe in my heart of hearts that we're doing the right things at the right time. And we just gonna see the work of the hands of those that are out here working. We're gonna see the move of God right here in Birmingham.
Look in that camera right there. Ask your constituents for their vote.
Listen, this is Councilwoman Latonya Tate. I humbly ask you on August the 26th, vote for Latonya Tate so I can continue to keep standing on the people's business. You can visit my website, and you can find me on all social media outlets, Facebook, Instagram, Reelect Latonya Tate. So please, sirs and ma'ams, let's continue to make this progress and vote for Latonya Tate so we can continue to stand on your business. Thank you very much.